Hey everyone, sorry that I can't be there this first week. Most of you will have already had me for Accounting 201, so you're going to be familiar with the style of my teaching and the setup of the course, but for some of you, this might be our first class together. So I'm going to do hopefully a quick overview of the syllabus since I'm not there. There will be a syllabus quiz in the Getting Started folder that is out in Connect, and that's going to be due by no later than Monday, September 1st by 11:59 p.m., but feel free to get it done sooner than that. So quick introduction, I'm Cheryl Weston. I'll be teaching this course in person starting the following week. So I'll be back in person the week of September 1st. We are going to meet in Stipes 225. That might have been different than what was originally on STARS. So we will be in Stipes 225 starting next week, which would be Tuesday, September 2nd. Anyway, my background, I started out in public accounting. I've worked in banking. I've worked in government, and I have had my own businesses. Currently, I don't have my own business, but we'll probably be starting one up within the next year. Anyway, that's my email, ca-weston@wiu.edu. Most of the course is going to be in Connect, which is the McGraw-Hill homework management system, and you're going to be able to access that through Western Online. If you haven't used it before, we'll get you up to speed on that as well too. So the course is Accounting 202, Principles of Managerial Accounting. For those of you that have already had financial accounting, which should be all of you, because it is a prereq for the course. This is a separate course. It does require a separate textbook or a separate access to Connect. So yes, unfortunately, you need to buy that textbook / Connect access for this course, which I believe is somewhere around 160 bucks. So it's not cheap. What are we going to be doing in here? You can take a look at those student outcomes. I also have an assignment that's due on Monday where I'm walking through some of the PowerPoints. So you can take a look at that. We'll discuss that when I'm back in person as well. You should have had Accounting 201, which is financial accounting. So financial accounting, we went over, all the definitions of accounting, assets, liability, stockholder equity, all that stuff, all the financials. We're going to be using that information in this course. If you are an accounting major, just a heads up, you do need a C or better in the class to move on in your accounting studies. So keep that kind of positioned at the back of your mind, maybe. Also for accounting majors, just a heads up as far as your course, the order of the courses that you're taking, you can actually be taking Accounting 460, which is that first tax course, which is basically personal taxes, the same semester that you're in this. So 201 is the prereq for that, not 202. So you could actually start some of your upper level classes if you're interested in doing that. If you have questions, talk to your advisor. You can come talk to me when I get back. Anyway, we are using this textbook. You need the Connect access. So when you buy it at the bookstore, it's just going to be an access code. I don't know what they give it to you on, like a postcard or something like that. You can, when you get registered in Connect, actually buy it online from them. If you need to buy things at the bookstore has the codes. Also, you can charge it to your student account at the bookstore. So that's very nice. Communication plan, this is an in-person class, except for this week. So I will be there. You should be there too. Coming to class is half the battle, right? You can contact me via email, come talk to me before or after class. I do have office hours, which were up here. My office hours Tuesday, Thursday, Monday afternoons. Oh, my office is in a different location. So if you hadn't heard, we're now, oh, do I have that up there? We're now the School of Accounting and Business Administration. So all of our offices are now in the area where management and marketing used to be. So that's on the east side of the building. So my office is Stipes 420. If you want to pop by and say hello. Okay. Email, that's a good way to get a hold of me. Using Western Online, if you haven't set up pulse notifications, I highly recommend you doing that. There's a link here about how to do it and instructions. So then you can get emails about, assignments that are due, and you can even set it up to send you a text message on your phone. So that's pretty slick. We are going to be using Connect. If you have problems with any of the technology, if you're new to Western or just forgotten tech questions with Western Online, they have gone to a virtual assistant. So there's some information about it here instead of a real live person. UTech is still a real live person. UTech is for if you have problems logging into your WIU Ecom account. They're physically located in Stipes on the first floor, so you can pop in there to see them if you need help in getting back into your ecom account. And then if you have any sort of questions about getting around and Connect, hopefully we're going to answer those for you in this first week. And here's some computer troubleshooting that you can do if you're ever having problems with an assignment in Connect. I highly recommend just call them on your phone when you're on your computer. There's the number. They have very good hours. And then hopefully they can fix it right away or tell you like they're down, and you can get notifications when it's back up. Generally, that doesn't happen. Okay, so core stuff. For those of you who've had me before, this is going to be pretty similar to our 201 class. We'll cover about a chapter a week. You've got various resources. One thing that people tended to forget about is there are PowerPoint slides. Yes, you can print them off, bring them to class, use it to be able to take your notes on. So that's out there. Your Connect Access code gives you access to an electronic textbook. So you can pop into the textbook. There's all sorts of assistance. Also, we will have the Tutor Lab available again this semester in Stipes 306. Highly recommend you use that. You can even just sit in there and do your homework. And then if you get hung up on something, the tutors are there to help you. My office hours, they were Tuesday, Thursday, and Monday. You can also email me. When you go into the homework, there's also the Ask My Instructor where you can send me information about a specific homework problem that you're working on. So let's talk about things that go into your grade. Okay, sorry about that. Had to let the dog in. Okay, so, oh, am I sharing my screen? Yes, I am. Okay. Assignments that count towards your grade. Attendance, I do take attendance. So you should be there on time, stay the whole time. I do have an electronic device policy, which says no electronic devices. So you can handwrite things, no phones, no laptops, etc. Okay, smart book assignments for every chapter. There's a smart book assignment. It's worth 10 points. There's in the Getting Started folder some information about smart book assignments if you're not familiar with them. It basically tests you over a certain amount of concepts. You have to get your concept bars all filled in 100% by the due date and time in order to get the full 10 points. If you only get about half of it done, you only get half the points. This is an easy 10 points for every chapter. You can click back and forth between the textbook in and out of this assignment really easily. So some people, instead of reading the book first, may come and do these and then pop into the book and read it as they need to. or vice versa. Or you can read the book first and then do this. If you've read the book first, it's going to take you less time. If you haven't read anything, then you're going to have to keep going into the book and reading as you go along. Whichever works for you, do whichever works best for you. Okay, homework assignments. There is an end of chapter homework assignment for every chapter. It's worth 20 points. These are the exercises, problems that are at the end of the chapter. So, in financial accounting, it was maybe putting together a financial statement or various journal entries. We will work with financial statements, primarily the income statement. We won't do journal entries. We're only going to have one chapter with journal entries. You'll find there's quite a bit more calculation in managerial accounting. However, it is not difficult calculations. If you can add, subtract, multiply, and divide, you're in good shape, and you can use a calculator. Okay, so homework assignments, you can save and exit as you're working on them. They have to be finished by the due date and time because it submits it automatically for the grade. Once you are finished with the assignment, you can submit it. It will give you what your grade is with the answers. If you want to make another attempt, you can do that before the due date and time. There will be Excel simulation assignments. So basically one of your end of chapter problems, but with the Excel simulation, you actually have to put the information in Excel. So the thing to remember there is everything has to be entered in as an Excel formula. And those are, we're going to have 4 of those, 20 points each. Mini tests, there'll be one before each exam. We're going to have 4 exams, so there's going to be 4 mini tests. They'll be about 30 points each. Basically, it's a quiz that you do before the exam. You only have 1 attempt. There's no check my work. It's not timed. You can do it on your own. You can use your book and your notes. Exams, same as 201, are going to be given in class. This time they're worth 90 points each, which still ends up being about 36% of your grade. It's going to be over the most recent chapters. You can bring in a handwritten note card, 3.5 by 5 inches, front and back. But the exams need to be your own work. You won't be able to access other resources other than a calculator. We will have a personal budgeting project. So once we get through the budget chapter, I'll have you guys create a personal budget for yourself, your future self, what that's going to look like for you after graduation. So that's going to be worth 5% of your grade. Career builders, those are back. 2 of them will count towards your grade, 1 for extra credit if you want to do that. So that's attending an accounting professional presentation outside of class, doing a write-up on it and submitting that. So you need to do 2 of those for your grade. If you do a 3rd one, it's extra credit. Because I'm not there this first week, there are these getting started assignments in the Getting Started folder in Connect. I've got a lot more information in the Western Online announcement, along with links to different videos, including this one, which is hopefully how you're seeing this video. But there's 20 points assigned to this, and I think actually a little extra credit. Oh, do I have attendance in there twice? I do. Anyway, so attendance is, ooh, I'll fix that once I get done with this video. The attendance still 50 points, so 5% of your grade. There's nothing new about what I say about attendance here. I just have it in there twice. There is the electronic device policy. Leave them in your bag. They're very tempting to take a look at, particularly if you're being ping, ping, ping the entire class. It's hard to concentrate. Dress code, just try to follow good hygiene and be presentable. Syllabus, hopefully there won't be changes, but you never know. Here's all the points for everything, should add up to 1,000. Here's a grading scale. I think a lot of professors use something very similar. No A pluses, just so you know. That's not me, that's a university policy. Speaking of university policies, here they all are. You can click on the links to see those more in detail if you want to see that. If you have any questions, let me know, or I can direct you someplace. And just a heads up, the College of Business Technology and Accounting is accredited by the AACSB, the Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business. So you are getting a fine education here. Yay. It also means any of your classes, well, it helps with being able to transfer classes too. When we're saying we're meeting a certain level of achievement in our classes, which we are, and that is reviewed by a team outside the university on a regular basis. Here is the tentative schedule. So this first week, again, I won't be in class. You've got the announcement that had all the different assignments, and all those assignments are due by Monday, September 1st, which there is no school on that day, just FYI, it is Labor Day. But we will be back in class on Tuesday, September 2nd. We'll be working on Chapter 1, the Chapter 1 Smart Book will be due that night, and our classroom is 225. So you can just scroll through here. It's about a chapter a week, smart book homework, smart book homework. Just to give you a heads up, the career fair, I want everyone to attend it. It is going to be Wednesday, September 17th, 1 to 4 p.m., the Grand Ballroom. Even if you're not looking for an internship or a job yet, we will have this career spotlight section where you can talk to some various professionals in business to learn more about some different career options. First exam will be September 25th. We again do take the exams in the classroom or in a computer lab on a computer, so I will let you know where that's going to be. And then you can check out the rest of the schedule. And let me know if you have any questions. So where do you go from here? Go back to that Western Online announcement. It's got all your steps for this first week of class and all the assignments that need to be completed. Again, they are for your grade and there is a little bit of extra credit. If you have questions about anything, you can send me an email. I will be checking that. It's going to be a little bit sporadic. So if it's nothing urgent, just save it till the week of September 2nd. Also, the tutor lab, I'm hoping to have that open that first week. So those are Master of Accountancy, GA, graduate assistants, and they're very knowledgeable. So if you had something that needed to be addressed immediately, they should be able to help as well. And I will see you guys when I get back next week. Okay, have a good day. See ya.